Bloc Talk Radio.
It's your world, I just live in it.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday, January 26th, 2014. You're listening to Feldman World Review. This is the Jewboy. Every Sunday here on Blog Talk Radio, I ask for 30 minutes a week. We'll try to, I call it my therapy session. Hopefully I'm sharing information with everybody out there. We're in some wild times in this world. And I'm here defending the new class in America, the employed class. You got the government class, you've got the unemployed and illegal class, and you've got the employed class. And we're the ones carrying the load for this government, okay? And I want to just thank everybody for tuning in. One thing I wanted to talk about, I was really happy. I've become a Scarlett Johansson fan. Anybody that saw my event post there on Facebook saw the picture. She was offered a job to promote the SodaStream product. SodaStream is an Israeli company, and groups were pressuring her to boycott Israel. In their usual, the progressive, socialist, pro-Islamist, left wing of ours, and she said no. And so she's my hero for the week. Scarlett Johansson. I'm going to go back and watch all her movies this next week. Very happy to see that not everybody in Hollywood falls and kowtows to the pressure. The way they drove that Latino lady off that play, okay, because she supported a Tea Party candidate. I know you guys read that story last week. But welcome here to Feldman World Review. You can always go to www.facebook.com/Feldman World Group Newswatch, where I'm constantly posting stories you don't see on the mainstream media, things that I think are relevant to where we are, where we're heading today. Write down this number. We're going to open up the phones in a little bit, 347-202-0433. That's 347-202-0433. I'd love to hear your opinion on any of the issues, even if I'm not talking about them. So just wanted to thank everybody again. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. And I'm very happy. We're getting more listeners every week. People are checking in, sending me notes. I really appreciate it. You guys make this whole thing worthwhile, to the Jewboy. I really appreciate it. Now, today's Jewboy Journal is titled, My Vision for a Unified Conservative Voting Bloc. The only way we can stop this Obama world insanity and the attack on our Constitution and political processes, like Congress representing the voters, what a concept, not the special interests who feed out of the government Washington pork barrel. We have the attack on religious freedom, with the replacement being secular socialism. The attack on our economy as a government burdens the employed class with the cost of their promises of Obamacare, of taking care of illegal aliens, of amnesty, and our children's education and schooling being replaced with Common Core. Okay? The way that we're going to get out of this is we need to vote as one huge voting bloc. And that means every election in every state, county, and nationally, we have to vote as a bloc to beat the system. You got 45%, 47% people getting some kind of government assistance. We have to match that. We have to match that percentage to win these elections. 2014 is coming. We've got to pull together. And that's all Republicans, fiscal conservatives, libertarians, Reagan Democrats. You remember those people? I know you're out there. Americans who now see what hope and change means, They've got to be disgusted. The Tea Party, which has had an incredible impact since 2008. People who believe that government's too large, okay, and moving way too fast and controlling every aspect of our lives. They want to tell us what we can eat, what we can drink, what we can smoke, where we can live, where we can work, where we can thrive, what we can say, what we can think, and what we can believe. You know, if you don't fit in, they attack you. They go after, they vilify you. You know, they say it's out of the Saul Alinsky playbook. I don't know. Is it Machiavelli? I don't know. But this government, this president, this administration, you know, having learned from the Clinton-style attacks on people, you remember, what was that, the politics of personal destruction? We have to stop this out-of-control train that's going on, folks. And I know my listeners know that. That's why you're on the Internet. That's why you go look for this information. And that's why we're all so angry. Because we're under attack. We are under attack, people, by globalists, immigration reformers instead of border securers, environmentalists who overregulate all Americans on every level, and this progressive bloc in our government. They tax, they spend their way to election victories. They want us unarmed, in line, and kowtowing to the progressive socialist agenda and mentality. Some of these things, like Islamic terror, is rooted in poverty. No, it's not. Islamic terror is rooted in racism and hate of other cultures. That's the true basis for the Islamist movement, is racism. They hate Jews. They hate white people. They hate Christians. They hate America. They hate Israel. They're haters. Clear and simple. It has nothing to do with poverty. If anybody's kept the Islamists in poverty, it's been their own governments. Yasser Arafat was given hundreds of billions of dollars to raise his people out of the squalor that they were put in by their own people. Israel gives them jobs, gives them opportunity. There are a lot of Arab Muslims in Israel that do not want the Muslim Brotherhood, that don't want Hamas, that don't want Hezbollah, that don't want Islamic Jihad. They don't want it. And, you know, they want us to believe that. The progressive left wants us to believe that Islamic terror is based on poverty. No, it's not. How about this one? America is a racist country and must be controlled. Versus the truth that America is the melting pot of the world, where all peoples, all religions, all races, all cultures, all people, whether you believe in God or not, this is the melting pot. This is America, where where we should all be represented, not covered over. You know, Christianity and Judaism and Hinduism and Buddhism shouldn't have to hide in America, because America was founded on freedom of religion, not from religion. And America has tried to correct many of the past injustices. And all people, all races, all religions have been empowered economically. One of my favorite John Kennedy quotes, rising tides lift all boats. And you know what, folks? If you look at the rich people in America, there's all races and religions represented. And then there's the people that come to America falsely, you know, illegal aliens coming here using fraud to take money from taxpayers. You know, us, the employed class, the ones that are financing all these programs, that are financing all these things, the employed class. And the immigrants come here, and this is not a Latino issue, okay? I am not a racist or a culturalist. This is an illegal alien issue, because we've got illegal aliens here from Yemen, from Thailand, from Africa, from Europe, from Canada. We're talking illegal aliens. We're not talking about Mexicans. We're not talking about people from Ecuador. We're talking about illegal aliens. They're here illegally. They're defrauding the government. They're taking tax money through fraud. That's a crime, if you ask me. It sounds like a crime, doesn't it? But they want us to believe. They want us to believe that we have a responsibility to people that are here defrauding America. And these progressive leftist socialists know that they are buying votes. Which takes me back to my point, folks. We have to vote as a bloc like they do. We have to take back the Senate. We have to take back the White House. 2014 is critical. We have to put aside our differences over certain social issues, over certain little issues, and get this train stopped and get America back on track. Because if the libertarians keep voting against the Republicans, okay, and if the Reagan Democrats don't show up at the polls, if Americans who are sick of hope and change stay away and don't vote, we're going to lose. We're going to get an extension of these Obama policies, whether it's Hillary Clinton or some other baboon is going to take over. This is insane, and I mean baboon mentally. Well, how about this progressive socialist policy or plan? Taxation is the answer to all problems. Okay, you show what the problem is, and then you tax the employed class to take their money. But the taxes, that kills incentive, it kills initiative, it kills small businesses, and it takes money out of the pockets of Americans that are already struggling to pay their health care bills, already struggling to feed their families. I mean, you go back 6 years, 5 years, food is up 40%, gas is double, rents are rising. The middle class can't buy a house anymore. We need to return America to where it was. Small government, less taxation, enough of these progressive socialist plans. Like their attitude about the government knows best. There are so many injustices out there in our society, in the world. The government has to fill the role of making everybody right. No, folks. No, folks. It's the family. It's our individual ethics and morality, whether you believe in God or not. You have some kind of ethics and morality when it comes to humanity. We don't need the government defining what our humanity is. And the government has failed at everything they've taken on and everything they've promised. Obamacare, full of lies. No, full of lies. Did we know that millions and millions were going to be dropped? No. Did we know that the Affordable Care Act was going to actually make health care unaffordable for millions of people? Did we realize that they were going to put all of this weight on the backs of our kids coming out of college, trying to get a job now where there are no jobs? This is a redistribution plan. It has nothing to do with health care. It has nothing to do with medical services. And they keep pushing these ideas, these social justice ideas. Well, you know what? Their equality is a false equality because they want everybody to give up their individuality, their culture, their religion, what makes them different, and fit in. That's false justice. There's false justice out there. Because all of this leads to real socialism, national socialism. That's not America. That's not American. So we need to get it together, folks. We need to vote as a bloc. And I'm reaching out to all my listeners to reach out to all their friends and all their colleagues and maybe all their listeners and all the people they see on the Internet and remind them that if we want to get away from this Obama world insanity, and we've got it, we have got to vote together. Republicans, fiscal conservatives, constitutionalists, libertarians, Reagan Democrats, Americans who see what a lie hope and change was, the Tea Partiers who are active, who have brought a real grassroots movement. They try to call them all these names. The media, goes right out of the Obama playbook, calls them all these names, the Tea Party. But you know what? We in the Tea Party, we know what we're all about. We're about no taxation without real representation, and we don't have it in Congress right now. We've got to get it, okay? How about the people who just think government's too big, that they're getting too involved, or people that realize, and the youth, I think, are starting to wake up to the fact that this government wants to take their money, but it's not going to give them anything back for it. There's no jobs for them to go to. They got to pay into a health care plan or be fined. This is unconstitutional. John Roberts just disgusts me with the decision he made. Oh, well, since it's just a tax, it's constitutional. I think in the back of his mind, he thought it was going to go back to Congress and be repealed. I can't believe that a Chief Justice of the United States would let this stand. And he's had opportunities to shut it down. He doesn't. We've got to vote our people in. Okay, folks, I want to pledge from all of you, I want to pledge from everybody out there that we are going to vote the other side. We're going to stop the Obama insanity. Whoever's next, Hillary Clinton, whatever person they put together to continue this progressive national socialist movement in this country and this pro-Islamist government that we have, must be stopped now. We can do it. You can't give up on the system. Don't give up on the system. The system will work. We just need to vote. We need to vote together. That's the Jewboy Journal for today. Phone lines are open. Anybody wants to comment on anything going on right now, 347-202-0433. This is the Jewboy. You're listening to Feldman World Review. Feldman World Review. I'm going to do a little quick thing here. This is the Jewboy scandal update. Let's see. Scandal number 1, Obamacare lies. Well, let me see. There was a court decision in favor of those nuns that were giving health care, that the nuns don't have to buy health care with birth control part of it. So I guess that's good. But Obamacare lies. Nothing's been addressed. Nothing's been backed off. And those pseudo-Republicans, pseudo-conservatives in Congress continue to do nothing. Scandal number 2, Benghazi. Boy, they are good at skirting the issue, aren't they, folks? We all know that 4 people died. We all know there was ineptitude. Reports have been released. Hillary Clinton's responsible. Susan Rice is responsible. Barack Obama's responsible. No one's taken any responsibility. You know, they'll attack Christie over this stupid Bridgegate crap, which, you know, right before his inauguration, right before the Super Bowl with all the vision in New Jersey. Come on, it's political hacksmanship. But Benghazi? Oh, the DOJ doesn't have time for that, but they're going to go after Christie. But not Benghazi. How about the DOJ looking into the IRS, Federal Election Commission collusion from 2010 to steer and to steal the 2012 presidential election? Oh, no, they ain't got time for that. They don't have time to really look into the NSA spying. They're blaming Snowden for releasing information that he's going to go to prison for life. But you know what? George Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, they didn't use the Patriot Act to track Americans. The Obama administration does. They use it to track their enemies, their political enemies, their opponents. Their opponents. Okay? And how about Fast and Furious? We've got people still dying in the Texas-Mexican border of weapons that were released by Holder. They were supposed to be walking the weapons down. They're supposed to track them. They're supposed to trace them. They didn't. They lost control. When is the response? When is the mainstream media? When is the conservative Republicans, supposed conservatives, in the Congress going to take these people to task? I am tired of coming here every Sunday and yelling and screaming into my microphone. When are the people going to wake up? Well, folks, our chance to end this is this election coming up, 2014. Vote with us. Vote with me. Vote conservative. Do not vote for the Libertarian candidate, the Green candidate, to this candidate, to that candidate. We have got to vote as a bloc. This must be stopped. This must be stopped. And you know, as the Jewboy has gone on and on these last couple of weeks, these last couple of years, I should say, is we are treading on thin ice with Obama's foreign policy. And I had asked all my listeners out there, because I always call her for the last month or so, I've been calling her the woman at the UN, because we have a UN ambassador, okay? And you wouldn't know it, you know, following the news. And I asked you guys, anybody that can, call in now or type in the chat room, what's her name? Does anybody know the name of our ambassador to the UN? She's a progressive thinker. Okay, she's been pro-Palestinian, pro-two-state solution. We really don't hear much from her. I don't know if you guys know her name, but I wanted everybody to check out her name last week, and I hope you guys did. So you can email it to me. You can tweet me on Twitter with it, and I'm going to tell you what her name is at the end of the show. Okay? But one thing I want to talk about is the Obama's foreign policy. And whether it was Hillary Clinton or whether it's John Kerry with those other stooges, Hagel, Brennan, Rice, tell me Valerie Jarrett doesn't have an influence. The Iranian-born Valerie Jarrett doesn't have an influence on the policies of President Obama and his administration. Well, listen, folks, the world's on fire. In fact, since the Obama administration has taken over and they've been involved everywhere they've gone, they've created fire, violence, murder, beheadings, church burnings, destruction. And here are some of the scenes of the crimes. I've talked about many of them. The Ukraine right now on fire, Ukraine. Libya, Nigeria, Syria, Mali. How about South Sudan? That was supposed to be a great bastion of the future. It's on fire. The Central African Republic, Africa. And you know what? Obama has nothing to say. Kerry has nothing to say. He's running around doing shuttle diplomacy. They're signing treaties with Iran. Meanwhile, Africa's burning down. Muslim insurgents are killing people all over the continent. And then we got Thailand. Anti-government protester killed. Doubts to the election. How about the jihadist group that is taking credit for downing an Egyptian? Thank God for the Egyptian army, but an Egyptian helicopter went down. The jihadists are taking claim for it. Just yesterday, kidnappers seized Egyptian cultural attaché and 3 other embassy members in Libya. How about Pakistan? We all know that what's going on in Pakistan, right? Burma. Do you remember when Hillary went to Burma and they were touting this woman that was going to come to power there, and they were going to have peace between the Buddhists and the Muslims? Well, now Burma's on fire, an unending fight. The Buddhists are being called racists, violent racists, because they don't want this Muslim Sharia law to be implemented. Like, how about Kenya? Kenya, one of the most beautiful, peaceful countries, now in a battle. Boko Haram is over there. How about Somalia? We all know about Somalia. That's been going on. Americans have been killed there, Black Hawk Down. The Mexican border. The drug cartels, murdering, killing, destroying, and it's right on our border. Nuevo Laredo is real close to Texas. Lebanon, unending violence. Northern Sudan, India. And then there were 2 new ones to the list where we have jihad violence. 2 more new ones to my big list, and I didn't go over everybody. But the first one is in Madagascar, the little island on the east coast, off the east coast of the African continent, where there were bomb blasts near the president's inauguration there. A child was killed, 30 people were killed, 31 people died. Where's the president? Where is the State Department? And then one that's really disturbing that should wake everyone up, okay, about this Islamist movement, okay, in the world, okay, is China. Muslim terrorists behind triple explosives in China. 12 jihadists dead in ensuing battle with the police. So it's not just Boston, and it's not just beheadings in London, and it's not rape epidemics in Sweden that are going on with the Muslims moving in. It's not the battle over Sharia law and Muslim rights in France, but China. 6 jihadists were shot dead at the scene. 6 self-detonating explosives. They died in battle following jihadist bombings in Xinjiang. A further escalation of jihad attacks on China. Now, how long are we going to buy this crap from John, the fool, Kerry? How can we follow them down a road of a peace treaty, a nuclear armament treaty with Iran? Iran, strategically placed in between China and Africa, strategically placed, and I say that because they are part of that great caliphate dream of the Islamists to have this huge, what they were trying to do before the Crusades, this gigantic section of the world, just Islamists. They want the whole world, folks. How can you make a deal with Iran, the number 1 sponsor of terrorism in the world? The number 1. Hezbollah, sicked on the Middle East, sent to the Middle East to create violence and murder and disarray by Iran. People say Saudi Arabia is the center of all of the Wahhabist violence and all of this other violence that goes on. But you know what? How can we make a deal with Iran? They're laughing in our face. They were given billions and billions of dollars by this sick foreign policy. And what does it go back to, folks? We have to vote in a unified bloc to end this absolute insanity. It's insanity. And just look around the world, because I think you all see it. From Thailand to Mexico to Libya to Iran, in China now, Madagascar. It's funny. It's all Islamist terrorists. Isn't that funny? Do you think that's the result of poverty? Or do you think that's the result of a need for power and control? Do you think it's really poverty that's driving these people? No. The Islamists use the poverty of their people. They keep them down. They teach them in school to hate Jews, to hate Israelis, to hate America, to hate capitalism. And then they tell them when and where to blow themselves up. And it's all over the world. And if we don't wake up soon and we allow this administration to continue to dismantle and break down, our strength, our power in foreign policy, well, we have stood the protector of the world for years. But you know what we face now? We face a president, and I use the term loosely. There's an article I saw this morning written by Neil Monroe, who's the White House correspondent for the Daily Caller. And the title is Obama to Bypass Congress in 2014, Ruled by Agency Decree. Just going to read really quick here. White House officials say President Barack Obama will aggressively use his control of federal agencies to impose his progressive agenda on the economy and society throughout 2014. That's very frightening, folks. Isn't that frightening? Is that American? Is that constitutional? Doesn't that sound like a national socialist dictator? Doesn't that sound like the way the Islamists manage their country? Because you know what? Before all of these Hamas and Hezbollahs, there was the Muslim Brotherhood. After the Muslim Brotherhood in the 20s, in the 30s, there became the Ba'ath Socialist Party, B-A-A-T-H Socialist Party. Well, the Ba'ath Socialist Party reigned supreme in Egypt, Syria, and Iraq, and Jordan for a long time into World War II. They were aligned with Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. The Mufti of Jerusalem was a constant visitor to Berlin and Munich during World War II. Anwar Sadat, former president of Egypt, who was assassinated by the Muslim Brotherhood because of his change of heart, supposedly, wore a Nazi uniform in World War II. Now, we're going to sit here and we're going to be led to believe that poverty is leading to this, that the existence of Israel is leading to this race hate, that the existence of America is leading to this race hate, that the Crusades of 1,000 years ago, in the 1100s, in the 1200s, that supposedly brought down this great Islamic Sharia state is to blame for all this violence. No, folks. It's a power grab. It's racism. Okay, this Islamist movement in the world, no matter what we hear from our president, who I've said before, whether he is a socialist or not, whether he is a Muslim or not, whether he's a Christian or not, whether he believes any of this stuff or not, his policies support National Socialism and they support the Islamization of Europe, the Middle East, and they do not support the existence of Israel. And that's why, folks, if we want to get our country back, if we want the America that we know and love, if we want a constitutional, a democratic republic, a federalist republic, that's what I wanted to say. If we want to return to a federal republic where there's states' rights that trump federal law, where individuals are sacrosanct, don't forget, folks, the Constitution was written to protect the individual from the mob and the people from the government. It was never written to be manipulated to control the people. It's to control the government, Barack. It's to control the government, Mr. Barack Obama, our president. You cannot circumvent the system. You can't circumvent the people, and you better not try to continue to circumvent the Congress. Folks, that's why the Jewboy says we've got to vote as one unified conservative bloc. Be with me, my people. We've got to take the country back, and we've got to do it. You're listening to the Jewboy here, Feldman World Review, every Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. here on blogtalkradio.com. Please join me. Join me next week. Please call in. Send me some notes. Listen, go on our on our Facebook page. Tell me what you want to talk about next week. Have a great Sunday. There's no football. Goodbye.
And mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine till all success be nobleness and every gain divine. And you know, when I was in school, we used to sing it something like this. Listen here. Oh, beauty vast, spacious skies, far amber waves of grain, far purple mountain majesties. The fruity plain. But now wait a minute. I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed His grace on thee. He crowned thy good. Yes, He did. Every brotherhood.